Every day you wake up and you choose between a red pill or a blue pill without even realizing it. Hi guys, my name is Rain and I'm here to teach you how to take reign of your own life. So let's get into what I mean by this, right? The red pill and the blue pill in today's video and in this example is motivation and discipline, right? We might look at motivation and discipline like light and dark, okay? Like day and night. Masculine and feminine, right? Yin and yang. I could go on. But ultimately, there is a huge distinction between motivation and discipline, and depending on which path you're actively taking now will make a huge impact on the progress of your life. But of course, this is all dependent on what type of life you're trying to live. So I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not saying that one particular path, whether you're being led by motivation, is right, or whether you're being led by discipline is right, okay? We all come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, just different things that make us unique. So I'm not putting it past anyone. I don't think there's one only and correct and omnipotent way to do things. I'm just laying out the foundations. So I'm sure a lot of you are aware, and if you're watching this video, you're probably already in this space of self-improvement, self-development, right? Hustle culture, constantly working, strong work ethic. And while obviously we can kind of separate type A and type B people, you know, type A being like people that do a lot of things all the time versus type B, people who don't really get up to much. Your worth is not determined based on how much work you do. I have to ingrain this message so hard into myself because I'm genuinely a person that puts my worth and value into how much I do. And this could be a cultural thing for me. I'm an Eastern European. That's kind of what we're conditioned to believe, right? But the great thing about growing up, because you'll realize there's not many. No, I'm kidding. The great thing about growing up is you get to open your mind up a lot more. So the very fact that you're watching this video is a good sign that you're actively choosing to expand your mind, okay? So first of all, your worth as a human being is not placed and will never be placed upon how much work you do. You can make yourself feel like that, other people can make you feel like that, external forces can make you feel like that, but ultimately you are the power and the reason that you are either letting these thoughts influence you or you're not letting them influence you at all, and you realize, hey, there is so much more that I have to offer as a person than just what I do, okay? While that's great, you know, it's great to be able to offer stuff to people and to yourself. Your worth is not rooted in how little or how much you give that day, okay? So now let's kind of get into the differences between motivation and discipline. So I kind of look at them as two different people because they are. And like I said earlier, like none of them are better than the other. I just think they have different things to offer. So let's look at little Miss Motivation here. Obviously she's motivated, right? She has goals. She has aspirations. But the tactics at which she is approaching achieving these goals is kind of like a wave. You know, it crashes and it goes back up and it falls and it crashes. And that's how she chooses to live her life. It's not wrong. It's just what she chooses to do. Okay? So the way that motivation lives her life is based off of her external circumstances, her emotions that day, her hormones that are possibly flowing through her at that time, and so many more things to add to that. Like, is she currently working? Are there tensions in her relationships? Motivation will do things based on what is currently influencing her at that time. She still gets stuff done, but if she is having a bad day, motivation will not be doing that, because motivation only thrives when there is good energy surrounding her. Okay? This is motivation. So what we can take away from the motivation archetype of a person is that motivation comes and goes. You cannot guarantee that motivation will be there 24/7, but when it is there, it's great, you'll get stuff done. But when it's not there, you plummet, you can suffer, right? So there's that in a nutshell. That's the motivation archetype. Discipline does not go easy on herself. Discipline rarely gives herself off days. Discipline has a strong work ethic. Discipline knows what she wants, okay? Discipline, without fail, has ritualized everything in her life thus far. She's ritualized the time that she gets up each morning. She's ritualized what she eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She knows exactly what she's after, and she's not going to stop until she gets what she wants. Okay? Motivation and discipline, motivation and discipline. What are we starting to notice amongst the two? Right? So we can look at motivation and say, well, it kind of seems very intuitive that motivation is living this way. When things are good, she does good. When things are bad, she lets herself off. That's fine, but how willing is she to achieve her dreams if she's living off of motivation, right? But she gives herself the off days. She gives herself the self-care days when she needs it. Cool. What about discipline? Discipline is potentially a far more respected person than motivation is, but discipline does not grant herself time off. Discipline is not very in touch with her emotions because she prioritizes her tasks. She knows she has stuff to do. So regardless of what kind of day she's having, whatever's going on in her environment, she knows this is what I've habitualized, this is what I've ritualized, and I'm not gonna stop until I get what I want. Are you starting to notice the difference now? And are you starting to realize that, hey, maybe, they kind of have good things and bad things to offer? There's two sides of the coin to both of them, because we are so quick to praise discipline when discipline comes with its own setbacks, like not being present enough with your thoughts and feelings because you're way too focused on a task. Or do we downplay motivation too much sometimes? Like, oh, she lets herself off way too much. Like, there are people that work so hard, but how could she thrive her best without those days? Do you know what I mean? So when you think to yourself, do I want to be a motivated person or do I want to be a disciplined person? What archetype resonates with you the most? Do you feel like it's changed over time? Do you feel like, I grew up a disciplined person because of how my parents raised me to be, because I know that my worth was displayed to me in this way, where I have to do things in order to gain someone's respect? And did it change into a motivation thing where it's like, I know I still have things to do, I have responsibilities, and I'm going to do my best to get them done. But there will be days where I will not feel like it. And I'm going to grant myself that because I'm human, right? So I hope this has helped you to think about where you stand on the spectrum, because I truly don't think that we are just like on one end and that's that. I think we do move at different stages of our life between both of those things. But like I said, I don't think they can live without each other to an extent, right? So now that we're in the last quarter of this year, think about what kind of energy you want to bring more into 2025. And even if you're watching this in another time, just think about future you, because she's important, they're important, he's important, whoever may be watching this. Your future relies on you. And you may not realize it, but your future also is rooted in your past actions. Everything that you've been doing for the last 3 months are the reason you are the person you are today. So it does matter. Learn your lessons, choose wisely what kind of person you want to be, and honor every part of you, because even with the bad moments, even with your flaws, you're worthy and you're whole. Okay? Do not let outside sources, outside circumstances, outside people determine your worth, because it is all determined by you. So therefore, knowing that you have this power to determine how much you are worth, let yourself be worth a priceless amount. Okay? And remember, take reign of your own life.